The Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. Views and opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium. CC, we do not hear you. Go ahead, Robert. Oh, y'all can't. Hey, can y'all not hear me?
Sorry, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. CC?
Okay, good.
Okay.
We hear you. I hear you.
All right, Robert, if you want to take it over, go ahead.
CC's phone. But I can't hear you. Okay, well, we got a little technical difficulty here, but nevertheless, the show is going to go on. I'm going to give CC this device, and I'm going to call in from my other. No, we cannot hear you, CC. No, ma'am. Still can't hear you. Nothing. Here, we'll just take this phone.
Okay, everybody. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but this is BIB Radio. So today we are doing a show with Miss Yolanda Spivey. She's on the line, patiently waiting. We're going to be talking about insurance of all types, but today we're going to specifically be talking about health insurance, because you know that there's some deadline for the health insurance. We're going to talk about insurance for your employee, SHOP, and we're also going to talk about life insurance policy, because we know that there's many of us that do not carry life insurance policies, and then when one of our loved ones passes, then we have to have some sort of fundraiser or something like that to make things happen. So we are going to help you with that today, so you don't have to have a fundraiser, so that you can have things in place. Again, excuse us for our late start, but if you are, if you'd like to join in, www.uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio Network, and you press **, and then we'll be able to see your hand raised, and we can unmute you, and you can ask questions. But like I was saying before, my guest, her name is Miss Yolanda Spivey. She is also affiliated with Dr. Boyce Watkins, but she has her own insurance company, so she's a productive entrepreneur. Her company is called Michael Whitney Insurance. And there's a wonderful story behind that. I don't know if she has time to tell us again today, but I love hearing the story of how that name came about. But she's going to talk to us about the different types of insurance that she's offering and about the healthcare deadline. And again, if you want to call in and ask questions, you can go ahead and use the uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio **, and we can hear you to get on. All righty. So, let's see, Yolanda, where are you? My goodness. She's here somewhere. That's not her.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you are on. Are you? Yeah, that's right there. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi, CC. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am wonderful. Ever so patient with our system here on this end. But yes, so let's get a little briefing. You were on our show before talking about insurance, but tell our listeners about basically how you became an entrepreneur doing the insurance business, because we have people out there that are looking for streams of income, so maybe you can enlighten them on how you got started. It might inspire them.
Okay, yes. I've been in the insurance industry for a very long time, ever since I worked in corporate. So it's been like 17 years I've been in this industry, and I got started in entrepreneurship because I just couldn't find a job, okay?
Right.
So because of that, I forced myself to employ myself. Now, I always wanted to, own my own agency and all that other good stuff, and I was looking around to doing it, but I also was still looking in corporate sectors for employment. And when the door was shut in my face, I just decided to go gung-ho and do my own thing. And that's why I opened up my agency, and here we are today.
Right, right. Now, I like the other part of the story, the other part of the story where you actually were doing your resumes, putting your resumes into these different companies, and for some reason you just were not getting the job. Let our listeners know what that part was about.
Yes. So, yes, I was going to, different, career websites, putting my resumes out there. I just could not get a job. I was selecting that I was a black woman, or black, and no one was calling me back, no one. But as soon as I put the same resume up there, I changed the name to Bianca White, same resume, same employment history, same educational background, put it out there, put down that I was a white woman. I had so many people call in and offer me jobs. They weren't just asking me to interview with them. They wanted me to start working with them immediately. And this was under a false resume I created as, with the persona of a white woman. So it was really shocking to me. I was like, whoa, I can't believe that people are really still discriminating against black people, in corporate, excuse me.
Right.
So I wrote about the incident, and, here we are.
Yeah. Well, for some listeners, again, that story may resonate with them. Where can they find that story, or can you share that story in BIB Radio so that they can perhaps go back and take a look at that, because I think it's really important. And it's funny because way back in 2011, I'm from Washington State, and I was going to Tacoma Community College, and my sociology teacher, Dr. Andrew Cho, my favorite teacher, he actually shared that story with us, and here I am with you today. I cannot believe that.
Yes. A lot of people on college campuses, they were actually reaching out to me asking if they can share the story. A lot of professors and students, and this story really went viral. I had people from the UK, all over the world, giving me some good good wishes and vibes, saying, we wish you well. We're so sorry you're going through this. So, the story really went viral. It even went to, some parts of Africa, and I was able to do African radio hosting at one point. So the story granted me a lot of opportunities, I will say that. But, yeah, and but it's something to really think about, and it should be studied in sociology classes, because in this day and age, this environment that they claim is so post-racial and all this other good stuff, we're still going through some of these things that our ancestors had to go through. So It's like nothing has changed.
Right, absolutely, and it's just so crazy. Somebody put on Facebook, I remember, white people can see Jesus in a Starbucks drink in the phone, but they can't see racism. And I'm like, that is so true.
That's so wrong.
But it's true. It's like, my goodness, they don't have to see it, so they just totally ignore it and ignore the pain that we're going through still to this day. I know that. Yeah, I know that I've experienced racism on the job myself, and you know, because a lot of times we're isolated in jobs, we are made to feel like things are our fault or we have to conform, and you know, we could go forever on that subject, but that's why we become entrepreneurs.
Yes.
That's why you have this business now, because you don't want to have to put up with that. And why don't you tell us, too, about the name of the company, Michael Whitney? How did you come up with that?
I know, right? So the name is very masculine. I know a lot of people ask me, you know, hey, you're a woman. Why would you name your name, you know, after a male? But first of all, I was after I decided to employ myself, I was going down a list of potential contacts that I had from my prior employment. And most of the people kept asking me, yeah, I remember you, Yolanda, but who are you with now? They wanted to know who I was with. And these were like your typical white male lawyers, because I was trying to do lawyers' liability insurance at the time. And I would tell them, look, I'm by myself, Yolanda Spivey Insurance. And they really didn't care to hear about me. But as soon as I said Michael Whitney and Associates, and I'll tell you how I got that name, they started to pay attention to me. And I'm like, wow, now that I have a masculine-sounding name, they think I work for a man. You know, it sounds like a white guy's name. They started to, you know, pay me some on and give me some business. So that's how that came about. But the name itself, it comes from Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. I know a lot of people are like, what? You know?
Right.
But it does come from those two great artists. I love Michael Jackson. Anybody who would tell you, and I know people probably think I'm crazy as hell for doing something like that, but it's just a part of my artistic mind. You know, I am an artist, and, you know, I love those two artists as, you know, performers, entertainers, singers, and I thought they epitomized their perfection in their field. That's what they mean to me. They epitomize perfection in their field, and that's what I aim to do with my insurance brokerage. I aim to give my clients a perfect, almost near perfect experience when purchasing insurance through us, and they have been very satisfied. So,
well, I believe that I've been satisfied too. I mean, I'm just so blessed to know you still. I mean, I can't believe that you're the woman that we were talking about in sociology. I mean, who would have ever thought that I would get to know you? But, yes, I mean, you're very thorough in your work, and you do your research, your turnaround time. I mean, we just had a transaction yesterday, or wait, what was it, today? Today, the other day, and today, something like that. But, yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, the days are just melting together for me. But, yes, absolutely.
Today you bought some insurance, so another product.
So before we get into it all, why don't you tell the people what type of insurance that you offer?
Okay. We offer every type of insurance under the sun. So we aim to be like your one-stop insurance brokerage. So if you need anything from auto, home, life, health, business insurance, professional insurance, we can offer those things to you. So we want you to come to us for everything. Okay.
Well, that is a wonderful offer because, like I said, there's so many of us, I'm going to say us, so many of us that are still without insurance. You know, it's not just car insurance that we need, everybody. I mean, you need health insurance, life insurance, insurance on your property. I mean, what else would they need insurance for, Yolanda, that we just really don't think about, we take for granted?
Oh, goodness. They need insurance, like even if you are a renter, okay, you need renter's insurance. That's something that's very big. I have so many people calling in after their building had a fire. Now they want to get renters. I'm like, no, it does not work like that. Renters insurance, besides covering your contents, this is something that people need to pay attention to. It's besides covering your contents, okay? Renters insurance will actually put you up in a hotel or another place until your place is being repaired. They will give you food, shelter until your place is back to normal, where you can habitate it again. So those are the benefits of having renters insurance. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a lot of benefits to it. Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. I mean, a lot of people just don't. They don't think about it. They don't think about it until something catastrophic happens. So
exactly.
Although this is an entrepreneurial show, we know that even in business, we need to make sure that we are insured properly. Can you speak on that in some areas?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I know a lot of people, they have their little businesses going, and that's great. But what if your business suffered like a disaster? Anything could happen. People could steal from you. You could go to a client's place or space and damage something and your business policy will cover you for that. So there are, business insurance, oh goodness, how can there's so many benefits to it. There's a potential claim right there. You should have a policy in place to cover you. If you're making products that is going to go into someone's body or on someone's body, you need some insurance, because someone can come back and say, hey, I had an allergic reaction to this shea butter lotion you made for me, okay, and want to sue you for it. You need to be covered. Wonder if they actually sue you. Are you prepared to take a loss?
Right,
absolutely. If they actually win, are you prepared? So let's look at it. A typical business owner's policy is only $5. Some of them are. I'm writing for $400 a month. Not a month, a year. Excuse me. So a typical policy is around $400 a year. Would you rather pay $400 a year or $4,000 in a lawsuit?
Dude, it could be either more than that in a lawsuit, because we know that people are actually sue happy sometimes, and so
exactly,
just never know what they can trump up.
Right. And I'm saying if they take you to small claims court and you have to pay their doctor's bills and maybe a few lawyer fees here and there, it can add up.
Right. But if you just go ahead and cover yourself, you won't have to worry about such things. We really get excited about being in business, but we really don't strategically plan for business, and insurance is one of those things that we have to plan for.
Right. And another thing,
Robert, are you on the line? I'm sorry, I don't even know what happened there. I have to get Robert in the call pretty soon. But
that's okay.
In the meantime, I'm even thinking of insurance for the vehicles. If you have business vehicles, what is the difference between a business policy or a commercial policy versus a regular auto policy? Because I know that some people don't think that they need a commercial policy, and they're doing a courier service or something like that, and they're just using their regular policy. What problems can arise out of that?
Well, typically, that's a big issue right there. And I just got off the phone with one of my clients in regards to this. Typically, if you have a regular auto policy and you're doing business type of things in your auto, and you get into an accident, and you disclose to the company that you use your automobile for business purposes, they can actually deny the claim if they want to. They will actually deny the claim. Some insurance companies, they'll pay the claim, but then they'll cancel you afterwards, because you should be sufficiently covered for a commercial auto policy if you're using your auto for business purposes. And a lot of people get a little afraid over commercial auto policies because they assume that it's going to be so much money. And again, it's not that much money. It's not a lot more than your typical personal auto policy.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh my
it's goodness. Something that it's like we in our community have to make sure that we are properly covered for everything that we do. And that's something that we don't. We're always trying to cut corners. Nah, get it so that you can have peace of mind.
Right,
Pay the extra so you can have peace of mind. so that when something does occur, you'd be prepared.
So we just don't cover ourselves. Yeah, I mean, like, we really need to make sure that our listeners, you know, again, this is the second time you've been on, but you need to be on here like quarterly. But
let me know
that our listeners know, hey, you know what? You need to call Yolanda and have a consultation. You know, talk about what it is that you have going on, because I guarantee you that there is something that she should be writing you a policy for, whether it be your home, your business, your vehicles, vacations. I think you talked to me about some kind of vacation insurance too at one time.
Oh yeah, we do have travel insurance as well. Yeah, that will pay for you for.
What does that cover? Because a lot of us do travel. What does that cover? Like when you're traveling?
Oh my goodness, it covers a plethora of things. Traveler's insurance is dope. It's the bomb. I'm sorry. I just insured my cousin. She actually went to Brazil because she's shooting a documentary, and I hope that she can come on your show, Cece, when she finishes this documentary, because it's really, really good. It's eye-opening, you know. But anywho, so she has. What do traveler's insurance cover? It covers your luggage, your personal belongings. Okay. It covers you for medical. Like if you get sick on your trip, you can go to a hospital over there, and your travel insurance policy will actually cover you for medical issues or anything of that nature. It covers you for trip cancellation. If you have to cancel your trip at the last minute because of an issue, your travel insurance will kick in and cover all of that. So It's a really great product to have. And it also, like, say, for instance, you lose your luggage, someone steals your luggage, or anything can happen. You buy things over in a different country, and you lose that, and it was worth millions of, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. Your travel policy will cover it.
Wow.
Something to think about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody thinks about that. You know, what is the main thing we worry about when we're traveling? How much is the ticket?
Exactly. And you'll be shocked that the travel insurance is not that much money. It all depends on what country you're going to and how long you're staying. Mm-hmm. Those are the two main concerns.
Wow. Well, definitely, people. I'm telling you, I know we're like into our commercial. Let's see here. I think we're going to skip the commercial because we got started late, so we're going to skip that. But there are so many things that you need to definitely talk to Yolanda about concerning insurance. So we're going to make sure that you have her information before she goes away. So let's go ahead and talk about health insurance, okay? Because I know me personally, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and I remember 2 years ago, I was in with another radio network, and we had talked about the shop insurance. That's one thing we're going to talk about. But what is it that people need to know most importantly about this health insurance initiative, or just all the things surrounding health insurance?
What do they need to know? That it sucks. It needs to be revamped. I hate to say it, and I'm going to be honest. Right now, the current health insurance status in America, the United States, is really horrible. I have people who have renewed. When it first came out, Obamacare first came out, people were ecstatic because the rates were very, very low. I mean, some people were getting insured for like $50 a month, okay? But now you're seeing a drastic increase. And the majority, I'll say 75% of that increase is due to political reasons, okay? It really is. It's due to political reasons that they do not want to stress about. The Republicans are trying to repeal Obamacare, which they really should not, because it's going to hurt a whole bunch of white people that have it. There's more white people on Obamacare than black people and other races. So what they need to do is really revamp it. But it's also important to have, because if you don't have this insurance, if you don't get any type of health insurance on yourself, you'll get fined. That's another thing that you have to pay attention to. You'll get fined. You'll end up spending $650 or charge that on your taxes when you go to file. So. Right.
I did see that the other day. It sounded like $160. I don't really remember. It just kind of was like really quick. But I know that you will be fine. Now, and this is something that we're not used to. People are not used to what is going on. They either, have it through their job, because that's how people get these, quote, good jobs because they can get health insurance. Or, they may have Medicaid or the state-paid medical coverage. Or they just don't have anything at all, and they just go to the hospital, rack up a bill,
Yes. And that's the sad part, because that right there can put you into bankruptcy if that happens.
Right.
That will put you right into bankruptcy, and that's the reason why Obama, when he first came out in office, he was so adamant about having the Affordable Care Act put into place, because he actually, I remember he was interviewing a few people who actually had to sell their houses and they were going poor just to pay off health insurance. And now, health insurance really should be offered for free for every American, but unfortunately, it's not.
Right. Well, now other countries do offer it for free. Now, what is?
Yeah, like France and Canada.
Yeah. Now, what is with that? I don't understand why they can't offer it for free. They say that America could never offer it for free.
Yes, they can.
Oh, they
can?
Yes,
they can. So this is the deal. So what France and those other countries do is everybody pays into the health care in one way or another. They're paying through taxes. If you look at those places, like for Canada, for instance, they have a very high tax rate. I think their tax rate is up to like 17%, if that. And a lot of people, we complain about it, but they don't, because they know that the taxes are needed in order to counterbalance the health care up there. So they just deal with it. They grin and bear it, and they pay it, And therefore, like if you're ever sick in Canada, you fall out sick. Even if you're American in Canada and you fall out sick, you can go to one of their hospitals and get treated for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That shows why everybody was just running to Canada, or why they still do run to Canada.
They do. They still do run to Canada. I have a few people I know that run to Canada.
Wow,
I shouldn't say that on the radio. This is being recorded. Let me take that back.
It's true, and we have to let people know it's serious out here, because we do not do anything about anything until it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, I mean, how many people can even afford to run to Canada? Shoot.
Not a lot, unless you live in Detroit or Michigan.
It's not very feasible. So let's start from, like, the ABCs. Okay, so everybody's state is different. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, for instance, in Washington State, let's say you're a lower income person, then there is the state Medicaid program that is open for everyone that is, just low income and eligible.
Yes.
But then here in St. Louis, you may be eligible for that Medicaid program, but you're not eligible because they're not accepting lower income people. You have to have like a disability. So how does that work?
Yes. So this is what happens. Every state that participates in the Affordable Care Act did not extend their states to include Medicare, okay, or they did not extend Medicare to their to the people. So as a result, that's why you see that there are some states who extended Medicare, like Washington State, and now people, lower income people, can get covered under the Affordable Care Act. And then some states like Texas, I know, is one of them, and Florida. They are terrible. They did not extend their Medicare program, and therefore you cannot get insurance even if you are, lower income. So you'll still have to pay for the plan. That's the problem. It's just, I think the federal government at this point, to make everything cohesive, should extend Medicare in every freaking state so that everybody can be covered adequately.
Right.
That's not what we're seeing.
Oh, my God. And I didn't even realize this until I went to go apply here in St. Louis. I was like, what's going on here? They told me I was eligible for a little program, but then it bounces back and says, they won't accept me, and then they'll give me some kind of document for a tax credit or something. I don't even have it in front of me, but I just thought it was the craziest thing. And if I'm in a state of emergency like that to where I'm confused, everybody should be worried, because I know a lot of information. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Right about now, I am lost.
Yeah.
So I said, man, let me call Miss Yolanda Spivey so she can hip us to the game on health insurance. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, it's crazy.
What are people supposed to do? Because
wait, I couldn't hear you, Cece. You broke up. I didn't hear that last question, sister.
Oh, I just said I don't know what people are supposed to do.
I mean, there's nothing that they can do. Right now, I have a couple in New Jersey, and they had the Affordable Care Act. I actually enrolled them in it last year, and then this year when we went to go renew it, their premium was $1,600. Now, these people are only making like around $60,000 a year. $60,000 may seem a lot, but if you have a premium of $1,600, how in the hell are you going to pay that? How are you going to live? There's no possible way. So they had to actually relinquish their health care plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're dealing with.
That is really sad.
This is what we're dealing with. I mean, but there is a little bit of hope. I tell people that there are temporary plans that people can put on themselves. Okay, it's only for a short period of time. It's very inexpensive, and it's only for catastrophic purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is even being taken out. Like certain states are not covering it anymore. There was one company I know, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, for instance. They had it, and I was selling it like hotcakes 2 years ago. But last year they stopped doing the temporary plans. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I'm about to make a crossover because apparently I've made the computer work. Hold on a second, okay?
Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I certainly can. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. Wow. Almost an hour into the system wants to work. That's great. But being as it is right now, I've moved from one state to the next. One state I was eligible for the open enrollment medical Medicaid program or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm self-employed. Everything's written off, so everything's pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then I moved to this state and I apply and I'm expecting to be able to get the same thing, but absolutely not. So as it is right now, as it stands, I'm uncovered. I have no coverage at all. Mm-hmm. So not am I only not covered, I have a pre-existing condition. Mm-hmm. So what in the world does one do? I mean, of course, I could move back to Washington, but I'm not going to do that. But right. What does one do? You have this temporary plan, but then how does that work if you already have like a pre-existing condition?
Yeah. So if you do have a pre-existing condition, most temporary plans are not going to cover you. That is the stipulation. So then you're basically without coverage. You know, when I was, yeah.
I better go to Canada.
I know. And this is the kicker, too. Say, for instance, you want to, this is one thing I see a lot of people trying to do, and I'm like, this is not going to help you. So what they do is they try to go to another state and get insurance and then take it back to the state that they do reside in. That's not going to work either. So the insurance is for state-by-state purposes. It cannot be transferred over to another state. The only time that you can see a doctor in another state is if you are absolutely debilitated or there is an absolute emergency, and you have to go see a doctor or go to the emergency room. That's the only time your health plan from another state will cover you. But other than that, you have to use it within states.
Yeah. So, wow. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of pre-existing condition you have. Like, okay, let's talk, like I have eczema. Okay. Yeah. So if I have eczema on my lower left leg, is that considered a pre-existing condition, or are we talking about heart attacks?
Pre-existing condition, I don't think eczema is a pre-existing condition that they would.
They wouldn't cancel me for eczema. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm just trying to be clear, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know.
No.
We do. Okay.
Pre-existing conditions can be identified or classified as diabetes, cancer, even HIV or AIDS-related, diseases, things of that nature. It really doesn't deal with like skin conditions and stuff like that can, be handled topically.
Right.
Yeah, but things that you really have to go see like an internist for and other things of that nature that is going to require a lot of testing, a lot of doctor visits, they do not cover for that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But then, so there's nothing for you. There's just absolutely nothing for you.
No.
Wow.
No.
That just makes no sense. I mean, I cannot believe that. That just makes absolutely no sense. Well, we all better do a GoFundMe and go to Canada. I'm just not joking. That's the only way. That's the only way out. Robert, are you on the line? It looks like you're unmuted. Let's see here.
You love Canada, don't you?
Oh, yes. I'm serious. I mean, because what other option do we have? I mean, you watch all these documentaries about, people and there's conditions and what they're going through with the cancer and then the marijuana and the oil and they can't have marijuana. I mean, there's all these different issues that we see happening with people's health. And you don't really take any of it in because it's not you. But see, now it's me. It's not, I mean, I'm not dying or anything like that, but I'm just saying, so you guys don't, I don't have that kind of pre-existing condition. But no, I'm good. But the thing is, you just don't recognize the bigger problem until you are involved in the problem where it directly affects you. And I'm telling you, everybody, it directly affects you. Whether you have health insurance right now or you don't, this is something we have to stay diligent in gathering information about because these government people are always changing something.
Yes, they are.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, they are. And this is another reason why they tell us to vote.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you think that none of it affects you, then you are living in La La Land. And I know a lot of people living in La La Land. But I'm telling you, my goodness, this is terrible. It's really, really bad. And then another thing is, so let's talk about, so we know that there's no hope for like 89% of the people. Seriously, I'm so serious. That we know that there's no hope. Okay. So then what about, let's talk about if you have a business and you haven't properly covered your employees and you should be doing that, I guess. Do you have the option of opting out of providing health insurance for your employees, or do you have to do that? How does that work?
Yes, you do. And it all depends on the amount of employees. Now, if you have a large corporation that has 100, or I think it's like 30 or more people, then you have to provide them with some type of health insurance. But if you have less than 30 people, I think that's what it is, 30 or 50 people, and they have to be working full-time workers. So you can have the choice to, you have the choice on whether or not you can provide them with health insurance. Now, what we have been seeing with businesses, when that rule started, businesses started to cut their employees' hours so that they can classify to be obligated to provide their employees with health insurance. And that's when we saw that big crisis, like around 2012, 2013, where a lot of store employees, for instance, like Target and Walmart, there were a lot of people who had their hours cut because they were working for these corporations full time. But then all of a sudden, these corporations only started giving people 20 hours a week. And they're like, hey, what the hell are you doing? And, they are employing more people, but only at hours at a and also they were, scrounging for another job. And it was like really, really hard to find these little jobs. So, so sounds like he's trying to get through.
You're trying to talk. Caller, you can hang up and dial back.
Any health benefits. So really, it's up to people just to go to the Affordable Care Act and try to get it on their own at this point.
Okay. Well, I know that I saw a story talking about Macy's. I think they're laying off 10,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're laying off 10,000 people. So imagine how many people are going to have their health insurance affected. And I mean, people are just being wafted into poverty. I mean, we already have a lot, and like 10,000 jobs.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
a
they're
lot.
closing 60 stores. 60.
Wow.
That's a
I used
lot.
to be a shopper of Macy's. I stopped shopping there for like years ago.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm like, Donald Trump was up there in this ad, and this is way before he became the super racist that he is known for right now.
right.
I'm like, I just started thinking, like, I used to be addicted to Macy's. Let me say that I used to be addicted to Macy's CC. Everything I bought was from it. Yeah. I used to spend weekends at Macy's, just looking for a sale.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how bad it was. Yeah. So I just stopped shopping there when I saw that. First of all, they discriminate immensely against black people, especially in the stores in New York. I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not supporting anything that does not have black people's best interests at heart. So
Right.
I stopped cold turkey shopping at Macy's.
Wow, that's amazing that you say that, because I think that there are many stores like that, and we just kind of look the other way because we want what we want. But when we are talking about these crucial issues, even down to the point of where we're seeing that they're cutting people's hours so they don't have to pay insurance,
Yeah.
I mean, we should not support those places because they
I
are
don't support Walmart because of that.
right. They are pushing people into abject poverty. I mean, they're already poor, but I mean, now you're taking away the health insurance?
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, we could
have
really.
families. It's not like they, are begging. It's not like they're on welfare and trying to, live off the state. These people are actually getting out their houses every single day and going to a job, and then have to like beg and scrape for things that should be afforded, like just handed to them because they have a job. The luxuries that the jobs used to provide us are no longer there. The conditions that the job provided us are no longer there. So it's like, why even work? That's why entrepreneurship is the move right now.
It is the
why
move.
even work for these corporations and you're not going to get back what you put in? You're going to this job, you're getting up for a measly $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour. When in your corporation, if you work it the right way, you could be making hundreds of dollars an hour.
Absolutely. But see, people have gotten used to that, quote, easy way out. I'm going to get me a, quote, good job, a government job, the post office and all that, because those things back in the day were considered providers for what we needed. And people are still trying to live off of that today, and that is not where it is. You could work for the post office is such a flim-flam job these days, I'm telling you. It really, I mean, I'm not even going to say anything else, but yes, that job is not what you people think it is that are still trying to live off of the good job mentality.
No,
But
the post office has its issues. They have a lot of workers. You think these workers are full-time, and they're not. They are part-time carriers. That's their classification, although they're working full-time and more hours, but they're still classified as part-time carriers. So they have their issues, too.
They definitely do, and I think most of these corporate structures do because they're always trying to cut corners. And again, people are still thinking in their minds. Yeah, they're thinking in their minds, I can go ahead and get this, quote, good government job because the government's going to take care of me. I mean, it's another form of welfare, to be honest with you. And I mean, I'm not downing anybody on welfare because, people use welfare because they need it sometimes, and it's a stepping stone. So we're not going to down anybody that does that. But still, the government, they do try to kind of damn people on welfare, but then they try to, in another form, act like a welfare system, concerning these jobs and all that. It's just really not, it's a poor system. But let me tell everyone, if you want to call in for questions, you should at 866-510-9025, and you could press the * in order to be heard. But we can go ahead and go to a commercial. You listen to BIB Radio on Black Talk Radio Network, and we'll be back after these messages.
Black Talk Radio, your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
Okay, everybody, we're back. We are again talking to Miss Yolanda Spivey of the Michael Whitney Insurance Agency. It's her own company. She's an entrepreneur here with us today, talking about health insurance. And so far, we've learned that the health insurance industry is really quite complicated. It doesn't really have to be, but that's where it is. There are a lot of American people that have gone uninsured because of all the dynamics in Congress and what is going on. Do we know how many Americans are uninsured right now, Yolanda? Do you know those statistics?
No, I don't, and I should, right? If I can do a quick search for you and find
okay.
out.
Well, that's fine. Because that, again, this is like close to my heart now because, I mean, again, if I don't know some information, I can't even imagine what the people around me don't know, because people ask me information all the time. Cece, no, let me ask Cece, so I'm stuck. I'm at a standstill right now. And then even if you do like a Google search, there's cookies on your computer. So or your computer or your phone always remembers what you've been searching for. And I get these pop-ups all the time talking about sign up for health insurance and this and that and whatever. I don't even know what all this stuff is, because if you're telling me that there's really nothing out there, who are these companies trying to tell me that there's low-cost health insurance out there? Who are these people?
I mean, I have no idea who they are, and I wouldn't deal with them. I really would not. And I just did this, just found the statistic. And according to the Fiscal Times, it's 29 million Americans are currently uninsured. That number is astounding.
That is astounding, especially if you're going to fine. Are you going to fine all these people because they don't have insurance? Oh, wow.
Wow, that is so unfair.
That's a paycheck right there, a big, fat, juicy one.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
my goodness.
I'm reading here, they say employer-sponsored coverage is the most popular way people get insurance. So if the employers are not giving you coverage, and then you try to do the Affordable Care Act, and Medicare is not extended in your state, and you don't make enough money, I mean, that's like a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It is a big nightmare. It is a big nightmare. It is a big nightmare. It is scary. I mean, I would be interested in finding out what other people are doing right now. So if you all are listening, please call in at 866-510-9025 and hit star so we can see you here. If you have some suggestion, because I'm just like at a loss right now. I better live in a bubble and not get sick. Dr. Spivey's gone, so I definitely can't go. Well, no, actually, you still can go to Honduras, but you just won't see him. You might see his daughter. But, I mean, that is one reason why we have to optimize our health, because if you get sick and you don't have health insurance, it is not a good situation. Yeah, I mean, and I hate to say it, but it is like it is like breathing that you see all these commercials with these medications and the Cancer Society of America or whatever that thing is with the tree. I can't think of it what it is, but I mean, they just have commercials talk about medicine and cancer, and if you have this and take a that, and if these symptoms happen, and it's like they're setting you up to let you know, hey, you're going to get sick one day. Yeah. So we just have to definitely do
proactive in our
something.
health.
We have to be proactive in our health, and it's just, man, I'm so discouraged. Is somebody on the line trying to talk? Let's see.
Cece, this is FDR, Washington, D.C.
Hi, FDR. How are you?
I'm fine. Great program.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Michael Whitney is such an impressive name.
Thank you.
How are you, Miss Whitney?
I'm doing well.
Well, her name is Ms. Spivey, actually.
I know, but Michael Whitney will do for business. It's perfect.
Yeah.
All righty.
I'm reminded of a situation when I make appointments. I have this same situation when I get to a particular office. They say, "Oh, you're Ferris?" And I said, "Yes, were you expecting someone else?"
Yeah.
And it gets me the door every time. So I know exactly what you're saying. So there's a gentleman by the name of Charles Moreland. Charles Moreland was best friends with the Honorable Marion Barry, Mayor for Life in the District of Columbia. Mm-hmm. He was an insulin-taking diabetic for years. And he was a lawyer. He did contract the law. Nobody better than he is. But, he cured himself of diabetes. And the way he did it was he increased his water intake. Brother Dick Gregory mentioned that years ago. We need to start drinking at least a gallon of water with the proper pH balance every single day. That's one. Number two was, he stopped drinking anything that had sugar in it. Mm-hmm. Diabetes is first cousins to sugar. So I'm from Jamaica. That's where I'm from. And so when I got here, I remember sitting at the table and I reached for what I thought was salt. And my mom, I was only 12, but my mom said, "Son, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting some salt." She said, "No, that's sugar." I had never seen white sugar. Wow. I had never seen it. In the Caribbean, all the sugar was brown. So it was right. And so over time, the miseducation of our folks, and because we are assimilated, that which was brown now didn't look so good anymore in the eyes of a kid because now white looks so much better. That was all subliminal. So once we have the solution to a problem in mathematics, then the problem goes away because you can solve it. So for the medical health concerns that we have, it's good that Ms. Michael Whitney, if I may say that, it's good that she's in the insurance business because we still need that. But you're asking for a solution. One of the solutions that we can start right now, tomorrow, is increase our water intake, watch what we eat, stop drinking soda. I mean, it sounds a little boring, but, develop a love for water. If you have to drop just a drop of lemon juice or just a lot of, orange juice in it just to make it palatable, then do that. But that's going to take away at least 50% of our problems right away.
And I agree with you. I grew up in my mother was a vegan growing up, so we grew up on the brown sugar too. Sugar in the raw, Nothing was white in our household at all. And this is like during the 80s where, everybody was eating processed food and TV dinners and stuff like that, but not I. My mother was very into health, and so I totally agree with you. I didn't have soda and none of those things, But and I do agree that half of the issues that a lot of people are suffering from is because of that daggone sugar, from soda to, sugar is found in every processed food imaginable.
It really is. It really is.
We need to stay away from processed food and cook and start cooking our food again. That's what we need to do. So you are absolutely right.
Thank you. So sugar has been a major contributor to what's going on with, African American and African and Caribbean communities. They found out a new way of slavery, quote unquote. And, you don't have to be in the cotton field to be a slave. You're a slave by what we eat. We're enslaved by, the various religions that are around. This is the only country where they have polytheism. You can worship any god that you want. And the problem with that is, if you can do anything that you want religiously, how do you know that you're doing the right thing? So the thing is to hold on. Religion is good. It is good to the degree that it's a controlled mechanism to keep people in place. That being said, I'm with Sons and Daughters of Africa. I'm the executive director. Sons and Daughters of Africa has been around for 46 years. And a lot of people don't know about us because we're just not out in the public that way. So it is my intention to get SADA's philosophy which comes from the Honorable Marcus Garvey. You remember him? And that's how we're setting everything up so that we can, blast off, get branded as a company that's about our people, for our people, and making sure that our people are healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yes, FDR, and that is going to be another program. We are not going to get into ASADA tonight.
Understood.
We are talking about health insurance.
Thank you.
We will do that program another time. Definitely appreciate you coming on the programming. But we definitely have to stay on task with the health insurance because it's so important that our people get to know what it is that they need to know about health insurance. And then we're going to talk about life insurance also. So FDR, thank you. We're going to click you on mute right now. Mm-hmm. All righty. Okay. Thank you. So we know that there are some things that we can do. That's a whole nother show dealing with health. That was a show last week, as a matter of fact. We had a brother on talking about his naturopathic plight into following Dr. Spivey. So he actually wrote a book. Wonderful show. I'll send it to you. But now let's get back into the SHOP program. We were talking about the SHOP. We were trying to talk about the SHOP program. What is that exactly?
So the SHOP program is it's the portal on the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, some may know, that deals with small businesses. And that is a portal where small businesses can go into and get health coverage for their employees.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we were saying it is mandatory to do that when you have a certain amount of employees, right?
Yes. Well, under the SHOP program, it's how can I explain? It's voluntary. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it.
Okay.
It's voluntary, because as a small business, you don't have to cover your employees if you don't want to. As long as there are like less than 30 full-time workers on your plantation, okay?
Okay. Right.
You can opt out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can opt out of it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's great. I just helped one of my clients because she has a very small. She has a church that they have all kinds of businesses within inside the church, and so she needed health care for her and another employee, just two of them, and we enrolled them through the SHOP program, and she got something that was very affordable for them. It's the same thing. They look at how much the company's earning and, who's who, what's what. It goes by the each employer's or employees, dates of birth and whether they are a male or female. And they I guess they rate you accordingly.
Right.
They rate you accordingly, yeah.
Okay, so they were able to get something affordable through that program. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, they did. They got something better than the other carriers, what the other carriers were offering, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now, again, coming from Washington, I know that, they have the L&I program, labor and industries. So through the labor and industries, you can make sure that you are insured for any falls or, if you get hurt or anything like that, and also the people working for you. Now, is there some kind of program for that? Because I'm not sure that that's in place everywhere, the L&I, Labor and Industries program. Is it?
Okay. Well, it sounds like that might be workers' comp. That's what it sounds like. Are you referring to workers' comp insurance?
I guess that might, I think it is workers' comp.
Yeah. So, so in some states, they require that everybody have workers' comp insurance no matter what you're doing. And in some states, workers' comp is another state that's a state-by-state basis. And in some states, like New Jersey, for instance, you don't have to have workers' compensation on yourself, just your employees or subcontractors. So, yeah. And I know in Pennsylvania it's the same way. You don't have to have workers' compensation on yourself, just your employees. Yeah.
Yeah, but insurance is so difficult, it sounds like. My goodness, it's difficult. And I'm going to use that word, difficult. It's like a big spider web of just goodness. It's ridiculous.
it's laws, and each state is different, and each state has their different rules and regulations set up. So it can be very, very difficult to navigate.
Right, right. And then if you are, like you said, on a state plan, you can't really take that state plan and go to another state and get covered unless it's some kind of emergency or whatever.
Right.
But if you have a plan that is through like Blue Cross or Blue Shield or something like that, those you can have what a PPO? Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is the thing, and you're doing the state plan, PPO. Those are two different things, and let me explain. The state plan, each and every insurance carrier, whether it's a Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Aetna, something that you get off on Obamacare, whatever it is, okay, it will be pertaining to one state. So where you are domiciled, that's where you're going to have to see your doctors, and that's where you're going to have to use that plan, because you have to understand each insurance carrier is different from one state. There's a Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. There's a Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Jersey. There's a Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida. I mean, they are different in each state, and they have different regulations set up, okay? So you can't take your Blue Cross and Blue Shield in New Jersey and go over to Missouri to visit Miss Cece and use the doctor. I can't do that. You know, I have to stay within my state. Now, there are some plans that some insurance carriers do have, and that's a state-to-state plan. Now, some of them have gotten rid of the state-to-state plan. I have not seen a lot of state-to-state plans in the Affordable Care Act this year. I haven't seen any, to be honest with you. You know.
Wow.
But there have been some insurance companies where you can use their insurance from one state to the next, and that's like for people who like to travel a lot. I know some of my clients who are, you know, they're big-time celebrities, or, you know, they need that plan, and they pay extra for it because they're going from one state to the next, and they may stay 6 months in this state or 2 months in that state, so they need to make sure that they have access to doctors as they travel. So they do get that plan. But other than that, it's an expensive plan, and most carriers do not carry it. They have done away with it. So it's horrible. Now, the PPO, that's just a plan underneath whichever insurance carrier that you choose, and that will allow you to see any doctor that you want that's within that network.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Because I was speaking, I mean, I've been kind of doing research on this whole health insurance debacle, I would say for the last, since May maybe. And I keep getting different information. There was a man I was on the phone with, and he said that, what did he say? Something similar to what you talked about, the state-to-state plan, and it is a bit more expensive. But he made it sound very attainable, although it was more expensive, you know. But it just, none of this sounds easy. It doesn't, because then don't you have to do some sort of health screening in order to get the insurance?
For the state-to-state plan?
For any of them?
No.
Oh, you don't have to do health? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. Wait,
say that again.
Forget it. Forget I said that.
Okay.
Let's get back to the state-to-state plan. I'm sorry. This insurance thing is crazy. There's like
Now, with any insurance plan, you are not required to submit any type of health screening. They should take you with pre-existing conditions. The only thing that they may sub-rate you on is whether or not you smoke. If you are a smoker, you will be paying a little bit extra for the insurance.
Now, why would I tell these people that I even have a pre-existing condition if they're not checking anything out?
Because if you don't have to tell them that you have a pre-existing condition unless you're doing something that's off the that's not, you know, within the plan.
Okay.
Now, you know what, CC, I have seen. There have been a few carriers who ask whether or not you have like diabetes, because now they have these what they call so-called diabetic plans. I'm not too well versed on it, but I do know that they have these little diabetic plans rolling around, and maybe that's why they ask whether or not you have a pre-existing condition, so they can set you up with that specific plan that will meet your needs. Because under the diabetic plans, I think they may give you a little bit more leeway with how many times you can see the doctor a year and all that other good stuff. Because under each plan, you can only see the doctor, maybe 4 times a year on a lower plan and maybe 10 times a year on a higher plan. So so maybe that's why they may ask if you have a pre-existing condition. So.
Okay, well, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to have a consultation tomorrow. We're going to have a consultation tomorrow about this.
It's a mess.
But you all, like I said, this doggone health insurance, okay, there's a deadline or something. It's extended to January something. What is it?
Yeah, it was extended to January 15th for the February 1st start date.
Okay, perfect.
And that's the end. And then that will be the end. And then the next time you will be able to enroll is next November.
Next November, okay.
Yeah. Or I'll come in November.
You all definitely need to, you all need to contact Yolanda to kind of get an analysis overall. Let her help you figure out what it is that you need. If you do not have health insurance, let her help you into a plan. Let her tell you what your options are, whatever they may be. I mean, I'm still I do not know. So you cannot email me and really ask me, because I'm just going to direct all the questions over to her. So we're going to make sure that you have her information before we get off of here today, because I'm telling you, this is just not a good situation. And again, I didn't really know it was like this until I left the state that was operating differently than this state. It's very ridiculous. And so I totally feel like I'm just out there. You know what I'm saying? If something happened, I'm just out there. Yeah. So I'm sure there's many people like me, as you read the statistic, that feel the same way. Okay, I better not get sick. I better not have anything crazy happen. So let's see here. Now let's go ahead and go into the life insurance, which is directly related to health insurance. How many people do not have a life insurance policy? Can we look up that information?
Okay, you said how many people are without a life insurance policy?
Yes.
Probably 1 billion. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let's see what pops up. Oh, darn. They said 43 in 100 people, and then I have 6 in 10 Americans. So
6 in 10?
Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah, they said only 44% of U.S. households had individual life insurance. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Whereas in 1960, 72% of Americans owned life insurance. So check that out. Whoa.
What do you think that's about? What is your theory on that, Yolanda? Because that's a huge change right there. What do you think that's about?
Well, let's look at the year. In 1960, 72% of Americans had life insurance. First of all, they put in these statistics based on white Americans. That's number one, because those are who fill out the surveys. So if you look at how white America was set up in the 1960s, they were thriving. Okay, they were living very well. You hear them right now talking about wanting to go back to that period of time in America where everything was American.
Make America great again.
Yes, exactly, where mama was in the kitchen cooking rice and father was in the bathroom shooting dice.
Right, and Leave It to Beaver was walking in the front door and Eddie Haskell was coming over in a couple hours. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So, so if you look at that period of time, you can clearly see that America probably was on a more upswing. There were more middle-class homes, and they probably saw the importance of life insurance. And now let me tell you, they did a good job, because those life insurance policies brought them a lot of generational wealth.
Yes.
Because when their parents died, a lot of white kids got rich off of their life insurance policies, because they were leaving their kids millions of dollars, okay? So in the black household, of course, we remain poor. The only thing that we were getting at that time were burial or penny policies, just something to bury you with. And that's why that's why we remain poor, because we don't see the importance of life insurance. But then again, on the flip side of that is this. If you can't afford it, how can you pay for it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black people just don't have enough money. And I'm not saying black people as collectively. I'm saying some black people don't have enough money, or back in those days, to have paid for a life insurance. But fast forward today, okay, even in piss-poor households, they got the cable TV on, okay? They got cell phones. They have all these luxuries around them, and they still do not have life insurance. And I think that's atrocious, because if you can afford cable TV, if you can afford a cell phone bill every month, if you can afford a meal at McDonald's, okay, you can afford life insurance.
A meal at McDonald's?
Okay, yeah. Let me tell you, a young brother came into my agency yesterday, and I just insured him for $500,000, and he's only paying $16 a month. Okay?
What?
That's it. Yes. He has 3 children. He's a young man, too. This man, I think he was like 25 years old. Okay? And I'm like, wow. I said, first of all, I want to commend you for taking out life insurance. He was like, yeah, sister, I live in Chicago. I got 3 kids. I need to make sure they're okay. You know, and I said, I really commend you for doing this. $500,000. He got a 30-year term policy. And that's another thing that we have to discuss, because a lot of people don't understand the different types of policies they can get.
Yes, term and life. Absolutely.
Yes. Now, term is a temporary policy. You can get a 5-year term policy, a 10-year term, 15, 20, 25, 30. Some term policy goes up to 45 years, okay? This young man happened to have gotten a 30-year term. So after the 30 years is over, okay, he has the option of either renewing that policy or the policy will just expire. Now, if he chooses to renew the policy, and if the insurance company allows him to, he will be paying a lot more, hundreds of dollars on $500,000 worth of coverage. During his term period, though, he can convert that term policy to a permanent policy that will last for the rest of his life if he chooses to. But term is a temporary product. It is so cheap. If you have young kids rolling around and you simply cannot afford life insurance, I suggest that every parent at least get a term policy that is going to cost them only $10 a month in some cases, so that they are covered while their children are growing up. Okay? If you have a 2-year-old, by the time that 30-year term expires, your 2-year-old will be 32, and I'm pretty sure are able to fend for themselves. So term should be used to cover you on a temporary basis, and I strongly suggest that parents who are, like, strapped with cash, they just cannot afford anything else, possibly look into a term policy if they can't afford anything else.
Well, I think you're speaking to a great majority of the people, because, first of all, let me tell you my theory. Nobody wants to think about life insurance policies because in your mind that brings you closer to death. I mean, that's the stupidest thing ever, but I think that's what people...
It's not stupid. People think, but look, that's what we're talking. We're talking about in case your ass die.
Right.
So, of course, people do not want to talk about it. And to be honest, CC, when I first started in my insurance practice, I stayed away from life insurance because I'm like, I don't want to think about, because my stupid butt was thinking, I don't want to think about death every day. Every day I'm going to be thinking about death if I do life insurance. And then I started really insuring people's lives, and I saw the importance of it. And this is what really changed my mind about life insurance. I had a young lady come in my agency, and she was trying to get her mother insurance. And I said, okay, let me, run you some rates, ran her mama some rates, and then the next day she called me and said, oh, my mother passed away. That right there was an eye-opener. And her mother was 85 years old. She was older, but still at the very last minute, this lady was scrounging for some life insurance for her mama. She failed to tell me that her mother was sick. She did fail to tell me that. Right. But at the last minute, she's scrounging. And I felt so bad for her because now she's holding a GoFundMe to get her mom buried. You know?
Oh, my God.
And so, so the thing is, I was like, I told her, you know, this is why, after you finish everything with mom, please give me a call so we can talk about you and your children. You know,
right.
And she certainly did. She did eventually. But the point is, it's so important, especially when you're young and it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. It's so
well,
important.
you know what I wonder? Now, again, you read the statistics. You know how many people do not cover it. So a lot of us are ignorant to the facts. So is there some sort of policy that just covers your whole household?
Okay, yes. You can get a policy where they...
wait. Hold on, Yolanda. We're going to go to commercial. We'll talk about it when we get back. You're listening to BIB Radio on Black Talk Radio Network.
The Black Talk Media Project funds the use of new media technology in efforts to restore independent Black voices to the myriad of issues affecting Afro-descendant people all over the planet. If media can control the minds of the masses, as Malcolm X once said, then you must ask yourself, who is in control of the media targeting the masses of Black people today? Help bring back independence, self-determination, and respect for Black culture in the production of global media by joining the effort to crowdfund new Black media for the new millennium. Visit blacktalkmediaproject.org for more information on how you can invest in public Black radio for the masses.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to the last half hour of BIB Radio. We are on with Yolanda Spivey, and we're talking about health insurance. Hold on, somebody's knocking at the door. Who's knocking at the door? What?
Real.
I'm on the radio. Anyway, we are talking. Oh my God. What? A charger? Okay. Look right there on the thing. Anywhere on the dog kennel. Look on the dog kennel. I'm like, is he really knocking on the door? I'm not on the radio. Anyway. That's why I will have my own studio. I'm going to start a GoFundMe for that one day. But anyway. Oh my God. Anyway, I lost my. What were we talking about? Shoot,
so we were talking about life insurance. That's where we stopped off at.
No, I know it was life insurance, but I was trying to ask you. So again, we saw the statistic, and we know how many people are living without life insurance, roughly. Because there could be more. Is there a such thing as having a whole family policy, like covering everybody in your household?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So yeah, there are policies, blanket policies that will cover your mom, your dad, the mom, the dad, and the kids, all under one policy. And the kids will go on as riders. Okay. The riders aren't that much, probably like $20,000. Only $5 extra on the policy for each kid. And once the kids turn 18, the great thing is on some of the policies, they'll be able to take that $20,000 coverage and have their own policy without them doing any medical exams or anything like that. So, yeah, there are policies that one whole policy will cover one household, yes.
Oh, okay. Now, that's good information, though, because I'm telling you, the more and more that we eliminate these weird barriers in people's minds, that will be a big help, okay? That's good to know. Something else I was going to ask about. Oh, now, I watch a lot of crime TV. You know what I'm saying? I love Snapped. I love FBI Files. I love all those shows. And you see people getting bumped off so the people can get the insurance. Now, there's a such thing as somebody having a policy on another grown-up person from somewhere else without them knowing. Is that a possibility?
Not anymore, no. And the reason why is because with insurance, they have become hip to the game. Okay, back in the 80s, you can kill somebody, stab somebody up. I'm pretty sure it has happened. And get the insurance policy on that person or take out the benefits. So right now, I have a lot of people asking, can I get insurance on my, this, that, and third? As long as that person knows that you're getting insurance on it, you can, and that person has to sign off on the policy. So it's not like you can get insurance on their life and then you can skip away. They have to sign off by law on that policy, unless you can get denied the claim if they find out that you have signed on their behalf, or if that person has never signed on their policy.
Okay, that's good to know, because that must be something that's here recent, because I'm telling you, you watch these crime shows and folks just got killed off so that other people could get some money, and that's another way that they got some wealth going, because they just kill their families off and they just don't care. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, that is just super crazy. Well, that's definitely good to know, because, our people are really notorious for not having insurance policies. And I mean, and people die. They're going to die, and we just don't like to look at it. You're going to die. I mean, I'll give you an example. My mom passed away now. Let's see. There'll be, let me see, the end of January? Yeah, end of January. It'll be like 2 years now. And we did not have an insurance policy. Now, her little self, all the while, she was always thinking, get down. Always thinking, forward thinking, like, I don't want my children to have to worry about taking care of me and this and that. So she didn't believe in cremation, but she was like, okay, well, I'm just going to be cremated. We don't want to argue with her in her last days, but had she or we had everything in place, then she could have probably been sent back home, and she could have had, everything just the way that she wanted it to be. But because there was no policy there, there was just nothing done properly. Now, when you are, let's say you have cancer, how does that work? Like if you have cancer or some other pre-existing really bad condition, how does that work for life insurance?
So this is the thing. Some insurance companies, there are a few things that we can take into consideration for what they call pre-existing conditions, okay? There are cancer policies out there. They will actually cover you if you do have cancer. It all depends on the type of cancer that you have, the extent of the cancer, like what stage it's in, and what type and how your treatments are going with your doctor, okay? And they have things for, people who have like diabetes, for instance. If you are diabetic, that doesn't mean that you can't get insurance. You'll just be rated, okay? So insurance goes from super preferred, that means excellent health, nothing's wrong with you, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't even blink your eyes crazy, okay?
You don't even hiccup or sneeze, yes.
Child, everything's perfect, okay?
Right.
You Beyonce.
Okay. Yeah. Not her, Okay.
Then the next one down is preferred. That means, you good, you all right, you got a little scar here or there. And then the next one is standard. And standard means that you have something wrong with you. Most people who are in the standard category have like high blood pressure. They may be taking a medication for something, either a thyroid condition, because anybody can get insured. Like having high blood pressure, thyroidism, and things of that nature, even diabetes, does not mean that you cannot get insurance, okay? So if you have something that is really a little bit more severe, then they start to downgrade you from standard, and they start to table rate you. Okay, so table rating means depending on which table A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, will determine your height, your weight, and what kind of conditions you may have. that will put you in a table rating. Now, when you get table rated, CC, well, those rates aren't cute. It's
that don't even sound right. They table rated you. I'm like,
rated,
wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I got a lot of people who get table rated because the reason why many people get table rated is because of weight. If they fall into the obese category, okay, they will get table rated. Like right now, I'm a little overweight, and we're working on it. Okay, we're working on it, boo. So I know I'm going to get table rated. Like if I ever get insurance or take out another policy, they're going to table rate me. All right.
Okay.
Before I didn't have to get table rated, but now, yeah, it's not cute. And I tell people that because sometimes they come into my agency, and I have a lot of sisters. A lot of us sisters, we have some extra weight on us, and then they get embarrassed. And I'm telling them, please don't get embarrassed. I'm big too. Let's talk about what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
don't
get
be
it figured out.
I'm coming from a place of love, sister. Let's talk about what's going to happen with this insurance and how much they're going to charge you. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? That makes sense because I don't know what the statistics are as far as like Americans being obese, but I mean, if we waited around for everybody to not be obese, we'd be waiting a long time because there's a lot of people who are a little bit overweight and I don't even want to just say overweight, but just unhealthy because you could be skinny and unhealthy too. You know what I mean? So
yes, you can. That's another thing. Yes, you can.
Right. So we need to just make sure that people have the proper information so they can get what they need. Now, I just posted that table rate thing on BIB radio because I've never heard of that before. But now, what was I going to say? I had it in my mind. Oh, okay. So then that leads me back to the other question that I asked you before. I was talking about the medical examination. Like they do a medical examination when you're getting life insurance, correct?
Yes, and most med exams are administered for if you have a policy that is over $100,000 or more. If you have a policy under $100,000, they won't really administer a medical exam. They may if you have some type of issue or medical issue, and if, in addition to that, you don't see the doctor, they may ask you to complete a medical exam if the policy is under $100,000.
Okay, so then I will have to disclose like any pre-existing conditions because they're going to check. They're going to check.
And this is another thing. I'll have a lot of my clients who call in and they tell me at the very, I'm giving them a preferred rate and they tell me at the very end, oh, well, I do take medication for, and I'm like, well, I gave you the wrong rate. If you're on any type of medications, you automatically get a standard rate. If you are overweight, you automatically going to get table rated. So you have to tell me these things beforehand. Don't, try to, skip over it. And a lot of people, they don't tell you anything. Like while we're taking the application, they may omit something. And then when we go pull the underwriting records, it shows up. Now, the life insurance company at that point has two choices. Either they will sub-rate you, which of course they will, or they will cancel your application and deny you. If that goes against your record, that's another thing. When you get denied life insurance, it goes against your underwriting record, which is held in the medical portal. Okay.
Oh my God.
That means that So that means that if you go to another life insurance company and you try to get insurance through them, they're going to pull your record and say, I see here that on, January 5th you took out an application and it was denied. Why was your application denied? So they're not playing games in this technology fueled world. They're not playing games right now with these life. Yeah, everything is up to date technology. They got you,
Yeah, you can't be playing no games.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
Wow. Well, I mean, that just goes back to what we were talking about before. People, come on now. It's time to get health conscious. We don't expect to be able to just pull a miraculous miracle concerning our health, but take the small steps, like FDR was saying, you got to drink enough of the right water. You got to drink the water with the right pH. You got to get some exercise. You got to get enough rest. You know, you have to do these things. You have to cut out the sugars. And when I say sugars, you're thinking like candy. No, you know, regular bread turns into sugar. I mean, if you're eating a bunch of sandwiches and bologna and all this other crazy stuff, with the age of technology today, it is impossible to be absolutely ignorant concerning health.
But we
If
have
you're
to
looking,
rehab the black people. We have to rehab our community, CC, because health. When you look at health and the reason why somebody is shoving, starchy foods and all kinds of other stuff in their mouth, and we're thinking, oh, it's because they have no lack of control. Yes and no. Most of it is chemical based. These companies are putting chemicals in these foods that are making people dependent on eating it. And then another factor that we have to push in here is the fact that African Americans are just tortured and terrorized, and because of that, they may compensate with food. They may mask the problem with food. That's something that we have not really dealt with in our community.
Right. And there's a lot of things that we kind of blanket over concerning, things we need to stop doing. Like, what is the real underlying issue? You're right about that. But now Scotty's putting us back on track, which he always does, because I'll just talk forever about everything. But it says, how much of your insurance payments tax deductible as a business owner with a private insurance?
Wait, I couldn't hear what he said.
How much of your insurance payments are tax deductible as a business owner with private insurance?
How much of it is tax deductible? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm assuming that it is a tax write-off, and you can probably claim the full amount, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. That would make sense to me, but that may be
it's a tax write-off.
That may be a question for Brother Sharif. Now, we had Brother Sharif on here a couple months back, and he's a tax expert. So that's definitely a question that we will get over to him and make sure that we get the answer. I got to have him back on before tax time. I mean, it is tax time.
Yes, I want to know. But I'm assuming that it will be 100% because it's part of your business, and it's a loss that you're taking.
Right. It is.
Business, so
definitely. Okay, well, we'll get that information.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's see here. So if I'm a new person and I have of course we know you do regular car, vehicle insurance and stuff, but I'm a new person and I walk in and I have nothing. How much time do you have to really sit and consult with me? Like, will you really sit and talk with me, or even over the phone, because everybody can't come to New Jersey? But if I call you, do you have time to really talk with me about what my insurance needs are?
I have time for everyone. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I actually get calls up until midnight on some nights. One woman used to call me 2:00 in the morning because that was the only time she could talk. And I actually would get up and speak with her because I knew that it was important that she had insurance.
Wow. Well, see, that's the good thing about being an entrepreneur, because you set your own hours, and here you are in the insurance business. Now, I don't know anybody else doing insurance. You're the only person I know. So, I know people doing insurance, but they work for farmers and places like that, but they don't own their own businesses. So, you all, this is my friend, Miss Yolanda Spivey. She's of Michael Whitney Insurance, and she is offering you all a heck of a deal by consulting with you, on your insurance needs, whether it be life insurance, renter's insurance, traveler's insurance, health insurance. I mean, my goodness, she has it all available. Now, Yolanda, if they need to get a hold of you tomorrow, how is it that they should get a hold of you?
They can visit me at www.mwhitney.com or theblackInsuranceNetwork.com, either website, and they can give me a call at 201-880-7179.
Okay. Now, as a business person, how often are you getting out information for the public? Are you doing vlogs? Are you doing Facebook Lives? Are you doing Periscopes? What are you doing?
Yes. So that's okay. Good. Yeah. So I am a writer at heart. So the blogs, yes, I'm always, blogging about, something insurance related. But what I will be doing soon is offering a free webinar, and that's coming the first week of February. We're right now putting it together. And a free webinar will be geared towards understanding your insurance policy. And it will be geared towards life insurance and navigating what you may need for you and your family. So I'll be explaining to the public the different policies that are popular and what they should get, or suggest what they should get for their families and for themselves.
Now that is excellent, because I'm telling you, I think that as a business person, small business owner, it would be very beneficial if at least once a week you put out some insurance tips. I would actually like to have those commercials flowing through this radio program. Like if you offer small tips, and then at the end, people can contact you at your website. That would be really good. I would love to set that up for you at a really low price, because we got to take this year by the horns and make sure that we get some income rolling into our Black businesses. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in doing. And let's see what else. Yeah, we just have to. We need to talk about that, because I want to make that happen, because even on Facebook, I'm on Facebook a lot, and I don't hear anybody really advertising insurance. Again, I may see somebody from Farmers or something like that, but I don't see anyone independently owning their own insurance bureau. So we definitely want to make sure that we uplift you in every way, shape, and form, so that you can maximize your business. And just let us know here if you need any help. Yes. So we'd like to tell you thank you very much for joining us tonight. Do you have any last tips for our listening audience? Because this show will be podcasted going round and round. So you all feel free to reach out to her at any time. But what do you have for them?
Just please think about your life and get your life. Get life insurance.
And they can join you. Are you on Your Black World? Where else can they join you?
That's another thing. They can reach out to me at Your Black World, at organize@yourblackworld.net. That's organize@yourblackworld.net. They can reach out to me on Facebook. My name is Yolanda Spivey. And they can they can visit my blog. I do have a insurance blog called blackinsurancenews.com, blackinsurancenews.com. So, I'm also on Twitter as I think it's MWhitney7 for Twitter, MWhitney7, on Twitter, and Instagram under Yolanda Spivey for Instagram.
Perfect. Well, I am so grateful that you have joined us today. I hope everyone has enjoyed our conversation. FDR, thank you for tuning in yourself. I know you're still there. But we look forward to having you back again, Yolanda. Again, I would like to really generate something with this Black insurance, so that people can know how important it is to have coverage in every area of their life, because when you don't have coverage, it can make you poor, okay? If you're already at a very bad standstill as far as your income. But imagine if you were covered, okay? If you are covered, then that could push you substantially ahead. We know that that's how other people have gotten ahead in life. So we need to make sure that we are covered, so that if and when, because things will happen, but when they do happen, you're covered and you can take care of yourself and your family and your future generations. Well, thank you, Miss Yolanda. We will be talking to you again soon, and you have a wonderful, peaceful rest of the night, okay?
I appreciate you, Cece. Thank you. You too, my sister.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
All right, everybody. That was Miss Yolanda Spivey. She's also on Dr. Boyce Watkins' platform. Most people do know Dr. Boyce of Your Black World. I don't have all his information to give you, but you can just look him up, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and you can see his team at work. But she's one of those people on his team. And again, I'm so excited to know her, because years before I did know her, I heard about her in her situation as as Bianca White. You all can look that story up, Bianca White. Maybe she will post it on our BIB page. If not, I think I can post it on the page. But yes, it's been such an informative night concerning health insurance. I don't know where Robert is. He's missing. I don't know what happened to Robert. I have no idea. He's there, but he's not there. He may be asleep. But it's been really nice. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us. We so appreciate you every week. Join us Thursday at 7 p.m. Standard Time.